Hare Krishna, welcome devotees to the Gita Daily session. So thanks for joining the session regularly. Today we will be discussing Bhagavad Gita 9.11. So let's take the blessings of the Lord Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maya Sudarshan Lakshmi Narshinaya Gaurantaya Panchatattva. So by their mercy, let's pray that we shall understand the transcendental topics of Bhagavad Gita. So let's recite the prayers together. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhudale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatideshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare. Let's dedicate the session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. By His mercy, He has actually given this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in a very easy and practical way so that we are able to apply it in our day-to-day life. So let's thank Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we'll be discussing 9.11. So let's recite the shloka. Avachanandi maam muda manushim tanumashritam param bhavamajananto Mama Buddha Maheshwaram. Repetition. Avachanandi Mamuda Manushim Tanumashritam Parambhavamajananto Mama Buddha Maheshwaram. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as a supreme Lord of all that be. See the word meaning. Avajananti, deride, mam, me, Muda, foolish man, Manushim, in human form, Tanum, a body, Ashritam, assuming, Param, transcendental, Bhavam, nature, Ajananda, not knowing, Mama, my, Buddha, of everything that be, Maha, Ishwaram, the supreme proprietor. So we'll read the translation again. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme Lord of all that be. So, just to remember the context, we are discussing the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where actually the Lord actually is imparting the transcendental and confidential knowledge about the Lord Himself, to Arjuna. So, we'll see today's sloka in more detail. So, last day we discussed 9.10, right? Yesterday we discussed 9.10. So, this sloka was Maya Dikshena Prakriti Svedayadu Sarajanam Eduna Nirkavantya Jagat Vivari Vartate. So, the Lord actually was, so in the last few slokas, the Lord actually is giving Arjuna and all of us the information about his opulences or his transcendental position, right? So in the last shloka we saw the Lord actually saying that he by his under his direction or supervision the material nature is working. So the material nature is also we have seen that the energy of the Lord, different energies of the Lord, right? So the material nature is also an energy of the Lord, right? So it's the external energy of the Lord. And though it may appear that the Lord actually is not directly present, but we can see His presence by His various activities. Or like just like the example of how the necklace is actually resting on the pearl necklace is resting on the thread. Similarly, everything is resting upon the Lord's energies, right? So everything actually is coming from the Lord. So this is what actually we saw, the transcendental position of the Lord. Right? So today the Lord actually is saying that Avajanandi Mamuda, Manushin Tanumashidam, Parambhava Majanando Buddha Maheshwaram. So what it actually means is that when the Lord actually appears, we have seen previously, that how the Lord appears, right? So the Lord actually has mentioned, that actually when a millennium after millennium, He appears, right, to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants, right? Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya chudishkrita sambhavami yuge yuge. And also Lord says, Ajobisan navyatma budhanam isharobisan pragdim sam adhishtaya sambhavami atma maya. So this sloka is also related to the that particular sloka. So here actually what Lord is saying that He appears by His own potency. Right? So the Lord actually is, so how, but how the Lord, normal people see the Lord, no, that is what is explained. So the normal people mistake Krishna for ordinary person because he appears like us. So because the Lord appears like human in the human form, the people or most of the people could not understand the Lord's transcendental position, no, as the supreme Lord. So they all, because he appears like human being, the ordinary people also think, no, Krishna is also a human being, right? And so actually but why they are not able to understand, we will see, because we have briefly seen, because the jiva is covered by avidya. The jiva is not even able to understand his own position, right? To what to speak of the Lord's position. So because of the avidya and the yoga and the maya, Mahamaya's potency, the jiva cannot see the Lord. So just like the sun cannot be seen when we are covered by cloud, right? So the cloud actually is only covering our vision, our eyes, not the sun, because the sun is far away and it's very huge, right? So the cloud cannot cover the sun. Similarly, the yoga maya, the Mahamaya potency, right, which is the maya of the material world, covers our vision. But then on top of that, the yoga maya actually also covers the Lord, right? Yoga maya covers further the Lord. So unless until the yoga maya reveals the Lord's identity, the jiva cannot understand. So that is why even sometimes, no, the Lord's associates, when they come in the material form, sorry, in the material world, to perform pastimes like no, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Gopas, they also sometimes, no, like most of the time, they are also covered by Yogamaya potency. So they also think that, no, he is our friend, he is my child, right? Because this is the transcendental pastime of the Lord. The Yogamaya actually, because he covers the Lord, so that they can have exchange the rasas. If everybody thinks that, they think that Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead, but then actually they will have this awe and reverence to him. So they cannot freely exchange rasa. So this way the Lord is covered by multiple layers, right? So that's why the jiva cannot understand. So the mudas, actually the Lord calls them mudas, because they are fools. We have seen earlier the Lord mentioned, the four kind of mudas who doesn't surrender to him, right? So that this is why the people are, people doesn't are not able to recognize the transcendental position when actually he is coming. And the Lord is saying that, no, he is the Buddha Maheshwaram. So he's actually the supreme controller of everything, we have seen in the last session. So only when the devotee is pure, when a pure devotee, is worshipping the Lord, and when the Lord reveals, right, then actually then only they can understand the Lord transcendental position. So yeah, so main reason is that because the Lord actually, see, Lord's activities when he comes, sometimes, no, it appears like normal human activities, like, no. So the Lord actually married queens. He was an householder. Then he was behaving like a friend to the Gopas. He was a friend to Arjuna. He took care of his children. So he dealt with different relationship according to the human platform, right? According to dharmic principles, he actually, like, with friends actually he behaved in friendship. To seniors, he gave respect. So this way, when the Lord behaves like an ordinary person, so people thought, okay, he is also one among us, right? So the reason I just mentioned, no? So the avidya and yogamaya, so these two things actually prevent the normal jiva from understanding the supreme Lord. So what is the real identity of the Lord? The Lord actually, is supreme, right? Supreme personality of Godhead, and he is fully spiritual. So his body, like, no, it is mentioned that there is no difference between his body, right, and the soul. So for the normal jivas like us, right, so we have seen in second chapter, no, Krishna says that, like, just like a person changes the dress, when the dress becomes useless, we take on new dresses. Similarly, the soul takes on new bodies, and this body is like a machine given by the material nature. So it is mentioned that Endra Rudhani Maya. So this Maya is giving, the material nature is giving a body which is like a machine for the jiva to fulfill his desires. So, like, the jiva has like unlimited desires, and based on the desire he accumulates karma, right? And to expend the karma, or to enjoy or suffer the reactions of the karma, he need a body, right, to enjoy and suffer. So according to the past karma and the desire, so one set of karma is taken for this lifetime, which is known as the prarabdha karma. And for this prarabdha karma, he need a suitable body, right, and a suitable environment. So accordingly, the material nature gives a particular body, right? So sometimes it gets a human body, sometimes you get an animal body, sometimes you get a bird's body, sometimes you become an insect, sometimes you become a worm. So this way, the jiva takes on like 84 lakh species of life bodies, different bodies the material nature gives, right? So this way we have seen that the soul is a pure transcendental. The jiva actually has also a spiritual body. The original nature of the jiva is also Satchidananda, and the Lord's nature is Satchidananda. So the jiva is also Satchidananda, pure spiritual form. But then when he comes to the material world, he is contaminated by the nature, and because of his desire to enjoy, the material nature gives a body. So first of all, the jiva is covered by a subtle body, which you've seen. The subtle body is consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego. Mind, intelligence, ego. So this is the subtle body, which is the first covering. So this subtle body is not visible by our material senses. We cannot see the subtle body. Then further, the subtle body is covered by the gross body, which is of Panchabhuta, right? Earth, water, air, fire, ether. So because both with the Panchabhutas, the machine or the body is made for the jiva, right? And that is covering the subtle body. So this way, the jiva actually has different coverings, right? But the original nature of the jiva actually is Sachidananda. He doesn't have the subtle body and the gross body in the spiritual world. So similarly, the Lord actually is pure, right? Lord as having a spiritual form. So when the Lord comes to the material world, he is not like the jivas. He doesn't come because of karma or no any other reason. So he comes directly in his spiritual form. So that is why we say that there is no difference between the no this actual the soul and the body of the Lord, because the Lord doesn't take any bodies like the jiva. He is not take, but the jiva is forced to take bodies based on the karma. So that is a primary difference, right, of the Lord. So Lord actually, it is mentioned, he comes Atma Maya, Sambhavami Atma Maya. So he comes in his transcendental form, right, and then he takes a form which is of human, which looks like human, because so that he can exchange the rasas with other actual devotees, right? So we have seen that the Lord comes for two purposes. One is to protect the devotees, and to second to destroy the miscreants. So, and along with protecting the devotees, the Lord also wants to exchange his loving, transcendental loving rasas with his devotees. So, in order for that, actually, this human form is suitable. So that's why the Lord appears like a in the human form. But then he is not taken a body, gross body like us. His body, even when he comes and acts among the jivas, he is in the spiritual form, in the spiritual body. So these things are little difficult for us to understand, because we are also conditioned, right? So we are trying to. So these acharyas explain these topics, and we can try to understand to whatever extent it is possible. And then also the Lord also exhibits wonderful pastimes, which actually normally human beings cannot do, right? So that is also an hint that actually the Lord actually is not ordinary. He is not like an ordinary person. So for example, when the Lord came, he actually lifted the Govardhan hill, right? The Govardhan hill is a big, now actually, it is still 21 kilometers long, but then it was mentioned in the Dwapara Yuga, it was very, very big, much, much higher and taller. So the Lord actually lifted the Govardhan hill to protect the Vrindavan, Rajavasis, from the onslaught of attack from Indra, right? Indra was pouring like heavy rain to inundate the Vrindavana, and then Lord actually lifts the Govardhan hill only with a little finger, and remained like that for 7 days and 7 nights. And all the Vrajavasis, they were all taking shelter. Vrajavasis, the people, the cows, everything, everybody were taking shelter under the Govardhan. So this was also a transcendental pastime of the Lord. The Lord actually executes multiple things, in one pastime. So he also, the one of the other reason, internal reason for the pastime, is that all the Vrajavasis got an opportunity, to see the Lord continuously for 7 days. So this is a wonderful pastime which nobody can do, right? So similarly, the Lord actually bought back the son of Sandipani Muni, his guru, right? So as a Guru Dakshina, Sandipani Muni asked the Lord actually, can he bring back his dead son? His son has died. So then actually the Lord is able to bring back the dead son. So it is mentioned that the Lord goes to the abode of Emeraj, right? Because once the person dies, his body, gross body is lost, right? And then the subtle body and the soul actually goes to Emeraj. So the Lord actually is able to go to the abode of Amaraj and bring back the dead son of Sandipani Muni. So this is not possible by anybody normal. Right? Similarly, the killing of Pudana, when the Lord was very small baby, he killed a huge demon, Pudana. So like that, the Lord performed various wonderful pastimes. When he came as Vamana Murti, he actually by his step, he expanded to a huge form, and he measured the entire universe with his legs. Right. So like that, Lord actually exhibited so many wonderful pastimes. So similarly, in the battle of Kurukshetra, right, the Lord actually, it was Krishna mentioned, no, it is my plan to annihilate all the miscreants, right, and to tells Arjuna that you've just become an instrument in my hand. So the Lord actually can do so many wonderful pastimes, right, and it's very difficult for us to understand the Lord's pastime. So Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita, right, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattva tyaktva deham punarjanma naidi ma me diso Arjuna. So Lord says that my birth and my pastime, are transcendental. Janma karma chame divyam, transcendental. And so yo evam yo veti tattva. So whoever is able to understand them in tattva, in principle, actually they will attain the highest perfection. So that's from that we can understand that it is not very easy for normal people like us to fully understand the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Sometimes it is confusing, right, for everybody. So, but actually that is why. No, so that's why we have to take shelter of the acharyas, right? We have to follow the footsteps of acharyas who have actually explained the Lord's nature and his transcendental position, and then slowly try to understand. But ultimately, unless and until the Lord reveals, right, we cannot understand the Lord. So that is the essential point. So we'll see some of Prabhupada's purports, highlights. Srila Prabhupada says the Lord is a supreme person, Purushottama, but out of their ignorance, the foolish consider him to be an ordinary man. They do not know his inconceivable energies by which he manifests himself as the supreme Lord and yet appears like a human being. Another quote: because he comes as one of us and deals with us as a friend, people cannot understand that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. Such people are called mudas, fools, because they deride the very cause of their existence. Then again, further, these lines emphasize that even though Krishna appears human, he remains fully divine, Nitya Shuddha and Mukta, eternal, pure, and liberated. So this way, the Lord's pastimes, no, they are all transcendental, and it's very difficult for us ordinary jiva to understand the nature of the Lord. So we'll see a couple of shlokas which are related to. We have already seen it, but then we'll quickly look at it. So 4.6 Bhagavad Gita, we have seen it earlier. So it says, Achobisan Navyatma, Buddhanam Isharobisan, Prakritim Sam Adhishtaya, Sambhavami Atma Maya. So what it means, although I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, by my internal energy, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Right? So Ajobi San Navyatma means he is unborn. The Lord says, I am unborn. And my transcendental body, so this indicates that the Lord actually is coming in his original transcendental form. Okay, then 7.24 says, Avyaktam Vyaktim Abannam Manyade Mam Abuddhaya Parambhavam Ajanando Mama Vyayam Anuttamam. What it means? Unintelligent man who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So this point to a misconception. Some people actually, some other people or philosophers who are in the impersonal line, right? Or some devotees who actually not devotees, some spiritualists who have this concept of impersonalism. So they think that the originally the Lord doesn't have any form, right? But then just for doing his pastimes or activities, he assumes a form. Otherwise, actually, he is impersonal or he is nirakar. And then when he comes, he takes an akar. So this actually the Lord is directly refuting this himself, directly in this sloka. Is saying that he's saying that those people are unintelligent who do not know me perfectly think that I am the supreme personality of God Krishna was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. So all the acharyas, in our sampradaya and other sampradayas, like they re-established categorically this position of the Lord, as a person. And Lord Brahmaji, who is the first creator of the universe, he also tells directly, right? Sachidananda Vigraha, he says that, no, Ishvara Paramakrishna, Sachidananda Vigraha. So Vigraha means there is a form. Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So sometimes the scriptures say that Lord doesn't have a form, but then that is from the perspective that he doesn't have a form like us, right? So whenever we say there's a form, we think that a form like us. So to avoid that misconception, sometimes the Lord is explained as Nirguna, right? But actually, the Lord is having a form which is spiritual and transcendental, which actually is beyond our conceivable potency. We cannot understand the transcendental form of the Lord. But actually, the Lord is having a form. He is a person. So if he is not a person, how actually it is possible, to exchange the rasas, right, with the devotees, right? So how the forms and people like the human beings who have so much desires and different rasas, how something can emanate from a person, something which is void or no, which doesn't have a form or this rasa. So that is actually not logical, right? So Supreme Lord actually is a person, and he is in the spiritual world. He's always exchanging loving exchanges with his devotees in various rasas, right? Of like Vatsalya, Madhurya, Sakya, like that in different transcendent rasas. He's always exchanging rasas with the devotees. So spiritual world is full of variety. So, so this sloka actually, clarifies that point. So we will look at a small incidents of to understand the transcendental position of the Lord, right? So when the Lord appeared 5,000 years ago, right? We know that no, in this context, this Kurukshetra war, this Bhagavad Gita is spoken. So before the Kurukshetra war, so Pandavas actually, try to um, try to have an amicable solution with the Kauravas, to settle the matter. And Lord Krishna was sent as the messenger or as a peace messenger to negotiate and settle, the matter so that this particular war can be avoided. But however, so when the Lord went to the assembly of Duryodhana, so Krishna actually requested that at least you give 5 villages to the Pandavas, because Pandavas are Kshatriyas. They cannot sustain without any land, or no, they have to rule because they are Kshatriyas. So at least you give 5 villages to them. But then Duryodhana actually reject that also. As arrogant as he was, he will not. He will tell that I will not even give that much land, where you can keep a needle. So this way he rejected the proposal. And Duryodhana was so foolish that actually he wanted to capture Krishna when he came into the assembly. So at this point, the Lord actually reveals his Vishwarupa. He shows the Vishwarupa, transcendental form of the Lord, right? Showing the innumerable the worlds within his body, right? The transcendental form of the Lord. He actually shows to Arjuna, sorry, to Duryodhana. So then, actually, so this basically this incidents indicate the transcendental position of the Lord, right? We also see that further, the Lord actually shows the Vishwarupa to Arjuna also, right? In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna asked that he want to see that form, then Krishna Lord will show. The Lord says that no, unless until Lord wishes, nobody can see that form. So at that point, Krishna will say that I am giving you the Divya Drishti so that you can see this form. So when the Lord revealed to Duryodhana in that context, Duryodhana could see that form. So that way he is fortunate, right? But nevertheless, the point, essential takeaway is that the Lord actually is not an ordinary person, right? So this we can understand from this. But then the irony of the situation is that even after seeing this form of the Lord, still Duryodhana could not understand the Lord's transcendental position, and still he did not accept the proposal. No? And eventually the war happens and the destruction happens. So this way we need to understand that the Lord's nature, appearance, and activities are all transcendental, right? And then when the Lord actually appears in the material world, he actually is still in the spiritual form, right? He is still in the spiritual body, right? He is not like us ordinary people, like who has a subtle body and a gross body. Okay, so what are the key lessons we can take from today's session? Is that to understand that sometimes the external appearance may not be, it can be deceptive. So when we deal with the ordinary people also, right, and especially when we deal with devotees, we have to be very careful, right? So one of the greatest dangers in devotional path is to cause offense to devotees, like Vaishnava Aparadh. So it is mentioned Vaishnava Aparadh is like a mad elephant offense. So it can destroy all our progress in spirituality. Just like a mad elephant enters to a garden, it completely can destroy everything. It can uproot all the trees and plants. Similarly, when we offend Vaishnavas, all our spiritual progress will be destroyed. So, but just sometimes we cannot understand who is a devotee and who is a non-devotee, right? So by externally, somebody may not look like a devotee. So from that perspective, we have to be very careful, right? And don't get misled by the external appearance. So the external appearance could be deceptive. So this is something very important. And second thing is that the Lord actually, the people who were there 5,000 years ago when the Lord came, they were very fortunate, to see the Lord directly. They got the association of the Lord. But however, in now also, the Lord actually is always present. We need to understand the Lord is present in his various forms, and the deity of the Lord, right? A deity of the Lord which is established by the due process by pure devotees. It is mentioned that it is known as Archa Vigraha. So this is also an incarnation of the Lord. The deity which is thus established is non-different from the Lord. The Lord actually has mercifully manifested in the form of deities. So, so we should understand the transcendental position of the deities also, right? Of Archa Vigraha, and we can get the same benefit of associating with the Lord in person when we actually worship the deity. So this way, the deities are actually an important means for the jivas actually to associate with the Lord, right? So this transcendental position of the deities we can understand, right, from actually from this topic. So I think with that we come to the end of today's time. So if anybody has any question, no, they can ask, unmute and ask, or if they want to put it in the chat, that also is fine. Devotees, any questions are there? Okay, so if there are no questions, then I think we will end the session here. I would like to thank all devotees who are joining regularly. So let's meet again tomorrow. So thanks for joining. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.